The story begins with a little girl named Julie. She was eating with her mom and dad when suddenly her mom's health deteriorates. It seems as if she has been possessed by some dark power. Her neck tilts up and stiffens. Her skin starts to tear, and worms come out from under the skin. Blood was now also flowing from her eyes. Seeing such a scary scene, Julie screams, and her dad quickly goes and locks her in a room so she can't see the dangerous things. Julie could now only hear her dad's screams from outside. Suddenly, the lights also go out, and when Julie tries to look outside through the broken door, her mom's face suddenly appears in front of her, looking very terrifying now, and Julie faints upon seeing her. The next morning, the police come and take her out of her room, and she finds out a shocking thing. That during the night, both her mom and dad had died, leaving her alone in this world. Julie was still in this shock when a woman named Amber arrived, claiming that Julie's dad was her husband. This turned out to be true. Julie was shocked that her dad had married twice. And now, since Julie had no one left in this world, she had to live with her stepmother. The scene cuts, and 20 years pass. Julie lives at Amber's house, but not as a family member, but as a maid. Amber has now grown old and sick and is in a wheelchair. In this house, everything runs according to her son Laris's orders. Laris is also married and has 2 children. Tika, Laris's daughter, at an Islamic school. Today, Quran. 2. Sijjin and Illiyyin. The teacher says angels write every human sin in the book of Sijjin, while in the book of Illiyyin they record every good deed. Next, Laris's son in Amber's room plays Ouija. A Ouija board is a board used to communicate with dead people or other entities. He was engrossed in his work when the door suddenly opened. He thought an entity had arrived, but it turned out that Julie had come. Tika had also come with Julie, who was telling her brother not to play with the Ouija board. But Dan was very fond of talking to such entities. He asks Julie if she ever felt the desire to talk to someone who is dead. She explains that when my mom and dad died, I really wanted to talk to them. Hearing this, Amber gets up in anger and grabs Julie, shaking her. She says, "What happened to your mom and dad was what they deserved. They were punished for their deeds." As soon as she says this, her health deteriorates, and blood starts coming out of her mouth, which she spits on Julie's face, after which she dies in agony. The time for the funeral arrives. Laris loves his mom. Julie also feels that even though she was her stepmother, she was still her mom. She thinks of showing her love, but as soon as she gets close to Amber, she remembers all the old times when Amber used to torment her. Suddenly, she feels as if Amber has opened her eyes and is telling her, "Die." Julie gets scared by all this and screams. When she screamed and moved away, Laris got angry and slapped Julie because she was creating a scene at her mom's funeral. Days pass, and the routine returns to normal. Julie also works at Laris's shop. When she goes to give Laris the money she got from an employer, Laris accuses her of theft and slaps Julie in front of everyone without listening to her. A lot of people gather there, and in front of everyone, Laris also calls Julie characterless. And hearing these things, Julie feels very sad and humiliated. Her sadness and anger grew immensely, and she decided that now she had to do something. She asks her co-worker, Yono, for help. Yono takes her to a deserted place where a shaman lived. Shamans are those who practice black magic. Julie was angry. She shows the shaman a photo of Laris's entire family and says that she wants to destroy this whole family. The shaman asks, just like you did with Amber before. And here it is revealed that Amber's death was not natural either. Julie had black magic performed on her as well. The shaman begins the ritual. While chanting some spells, he burns the entire family's photo and places the burnt picture on Julie's hand, and Julie's hand also gets burned. After which the shaman says, "The magic you want to perform is not that easy. For this magic, we will also need a fresh corpse." To which Julie says, "Don't worry, I will bring you everything." Now at night, Julie again asks her co-worker for help and opens Amber's grave to take out her dead body. They bring the dead body to the shaman's house. The shaman sends Yono out of there and gives Yuli a black chicken, telling her to kill it ruthlessly and collect its blood. Yuli does exactly as the shaman says, after which the shaman pours the blood over a goat's severed head. After which, he mixes goat hair and a black buffalo hide into this blood, then writes the names of all the people he intended to kill on a piece of paper and dips that paper into his prepared mixture. Then he spreads the mixture on Amber's corpse. As he recites, Amber suddenly opens her mouth. Now, she wraps the paper with everyone's names written on it in a piece of hide, puts it in Amber's mouth, and the mouth closes. After all this, the shaman tells Yuli a terrifying thing. She must now complete all the rituals he mentioned before this dead body decomposes. And if she fails and the body rots, all the magic will backfire on her. On the other hand, we see that Tika was praying, and suddenly we see a ball of fire outside her room's window. At the same time, the lights in her house flicker, and suddenly the glass of her window shatters, and through the shattered glass, the terrifying-looking worm enters her room. And at this prayer time, Tika also hears Amber, her grandma's, voice. She gets scared, and Yuli comes to comfort her. Yuli coaxes her to sleep. Since last night, Tika was terrified, and it turned out weird things had happened to her brother too. They both try to tell Laris that something is wrong in this house, but Laris doesn't listen to them. Tika's brother tells Tika that he was using an Ouija board at night and Grandma's spirit spoke to him. She even moved the Ouija board. Hearing this, Tika gets very surprised and goes to discuss all of this with her teacher. The teacher tells her that dead people cannot return to this world, and if she has seen a dead person in this world, she should understand that it is not their soul, but some other jinn who has taken their form. The scene cuts and it's shown at night that everyone had gathered here for prayer, and at the same time, on the other side, Yuli was busy performing her ritual. She writes the little boys, that is, Jin's, name on a piece of paper, wraps it in buffalo hide, cuts the skin of Amber's dead body, places it inside her skin, and seals it with a nail from the top. And here we are shown that the child was still playing with a Ouija board. And at this time, a message appears on the Ouija board that says, "Come to Grandma." He is very surprised after decoding this message. Suddenly, we see a worm come and enter the child's ear, causing the child to start writhing in pain. His sister Tika hears his agonizing screams and comes to the room to save him. At first, the door doesn't open, and when she forces it open, she sees her brother hitting his own head with his Ouija board. Then he cuts his own throat with a piece of that broken Ouija board and dies like that. We see that the child's funeral was now taking place. At the time of the funeral, the man who had helped Yuli go to the shaman's house asks her, "Is all of this happening because of that shaman? Or are you making this happen?" Yuli replies to this, "No, they are just getting punished for their bad deeds." We see that Tika goes to her teacher again. She was very sad. So the teacher tells her to pray in the middle of the night, which will bring peace to her heart. As she is praying at night, and she herself says Amen, someone else also says Amen with her. At this time, no one was in her room, and she was very scared. The next day, it is shown that at the shop, Yuli was now targeting Laris's husband. She cuts her finger, pretends to be in pain, goes to the man, and tries to get close to him. At this moment, the man likes Yuli getting close to him like this, and when he sees Laris scolding Yuli a little later, we see that this time, Laris's husband felt bad about her scolding like that. He snaps at his wife, "Why keep scolding poor Yuli?" But Laris turns, surprised, and asks, "What made you suddenly think of this today? Why are you saying all these things? Why are you thinking about Yuli? Has she performed some black magic on you?" After hearing all this, the man leaves from here in anger. Now, it's shown at night that Yuli deliberately came to him again. She dragged him into her room and kept trying to get close to him. During this, Laris was calling her husband, and the man couldn't even pick up Laris's call. Yuli became so dominant over him that he did everything he shouldn't have done. After all this, Yuli asks Laris's husband to leave Laris and live with her, but he refuses. And all of this makes Yuli angry because he had also called her characterless. Yuli was now mad with anger. As soon as the man left her room, Tika, that is, his daughter, saw him leaving and understood everything. As angry as Yuli was with Laris's husband, she now performs her black magic ritual on him before anyone else. She writes his name on a slip of paper and puts it into Amber's dead body. And here, the sleeping man's throat starts to hurt. He goes to the bathroom and vomits blood, and suddenly we see a worm go into one of his eyes. Passing through one eye, the worm was coming through his nose towards his other eye, and all of this could be felt under the skin. In the process of trying to remove the worm from his eye, he pulls his own eye out. He was still scared seeing all this when he saw a djinn in front of him that looked like Amber. Seeing it, he got even more scared, slipped, and died there after his head hit some things. Hearing his scream, Laris immediately tried to open the washroom door, but the door wouldn't open. Everyone becomes very upset and sad because of his death. On the other hand, the boy whose help Yuli had taken understood that Yuli was doing all this, and he goes and tells Yuli clearly that he is not a part of all her sins. Yuli now gets angry at that poor innocent boy too, and she performs the same ritual on him and tries to kill him as well. Soon, the magic also takes effect. We see that while closing the shop, whenever he tried to close the shutter would open by itself. Yono gets scared, and as soon as he enters the shop, he sees the same djinn that everyone else was seeing. He got so scared that he tried to open the shutter to go outside. At first, the shutter opened, but as soon as he started to go out, the shutter closed, and straight onto his face, which caused his face to shatter into several pieces, and he was killed. Yuli had killed many people, but she hadn't killed the main person who had troubled her entire life, which was Laris. She now makes Laris her target. She is trying to perform black magic on her, and here the scene cuts to Tika, whose room's ceiling had now collapsed. Suddenly, the lights in their house also go out, and Tika, scared, tries to go to her mom. As soon as she enters her mom's room, she is terribly shocked to see her because her mom looked like a terrifying djinn. Actually, she was possessed by a djinn that Yuli had sent to them through black magic. At this time, Laris was looking at Yuli, and while looking at Yuli, she screams that you will die. Tika, who was very scared by all these things, locks herself in a room and quickly calls her teacher to her house. The teacher immediately tells them to take Laris away from here. Everyone is in this chaos, but Tika notices that Yuli didn't care about any of it. Instead, she was walking down a dark path. She follows her. Wherever Yuli goes, she hides. While Yuli was busy with her work, Tika secretly watched her from outside the door and found out that Yuli was performing black magic on all of them, and she was doing it through their grandma's dead body. Seeing all this, Tika immediately confronts her, and Yuli confesses that yes, she killed everyone. To reduce the guilt of her crime, Yuli tells her, "Do you think I am doing something wrong? Actually, something wrong was done to me. Your grandma, who is lying here, is the one who performed black magic on my mom and dad. They died in front of my eyes. And after that, she tortured me my whole life. Now I'll leave none alive." Tika leaves from here, and the scene cuts to the teacher, who has now started Laris's exorcism. On the other hand, Yuli is also trying to complete her magic, but however many times she tries to sew the dead body with a note bearing the name, the stitches keep coming undone, and she keeps getting hurt again and again. In other words, because of the exorcism being performed there, Yuli's magic was failing here. In a short while, Amber's dead body completely rots, and all of this happened because of that exorcism. As Yuli's shaman had told her that she had to perform all this magic before the dead body rotted, her magic has now failed. And according to the shaman, the black magic will now consume Yuli herself. Because of this, Yuli's fingers become crooked, and she vomits blood. Many of the souls present there, who were previously helping her kill others, now attack her and kill her, clawing at her with their nails. On the other hand, We see that black blood and many worms come out of Laris's mouth. She vomits blood again, and worms start spreading from it, after which she regains consciousness. As soon as she comes to her senses, she starts asking Tika for forgiveness, because somewhere, she also knew that whatever wrong was happening to them was because many years ago, she, along with her mom, had done something very bad to Yuli's mom. She was now suffering the punishment for it, but along with her, her entire family had suffered a lot of pain. She dies while asking her daughter for forgiveness for this, meaning she also passes away. In the movie's post-credit scene, we are also shown Laris's funeral, after which we see that Tika was now left all alone in this world. She prays for the peace of everyone's souls, and then prays for herself, asking for the courage to live this life alone. And so, showing her, the movie ends here.